Well, hello, everybody. This is Scott Roberts here, and this is the Explore Alliance live program, and it's our first virtual star party. And our subject tonight is going to be M13. So if you're watching here, you can see this image of M13 taken from the Palomar 200-inch telescope back in 1953 by Walter Baade. And so it was, I'm sure at the time, a remarkable image, probably the best image in the world of M13 at the time. And it's still a remarkable image. But tonight we are going to, we've got four astronomers and a special guest tonight, who of course is also an astronomer and a well-known one, Dr. David Levy. And so let's bring on our team here. And here we are. This is everyone that is part of our group. We have Alberto Levy from San Diego. We've got Jerry Hubbell from Virginia. We've got David Ng from Temecula, California. David Levy, of course, in Vail, Arizona. And Richard Grace from Baltimore, Maryland. And so, and of course, myself, I'm here in Springdale, Arkansas, at the Explore Scientific offices. And so, why don't we start with some, with a little presentation here from David. He's joining us for a few minutes, and really happy to have you on, David. This is great.
Well, thank you very much, Scotty. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. Sure.
Great. Let me start to share the screen here.
Okay.
And we're going to share it here. And we share it here. And let's see if that works. Okay. Tonight is truly a midsummer night. Any problems, Scotty?
No problems.
Okay, tonight is truly a Midsummer Night's Dream. I steal the title from this mini talk from Shakespeare and his famous play. But one of the great things about going out in the summertime is just looking up at the night sky. If it's clear tonight, you won't see too much because the full moon, the almost full moon is in the sky. However, if you stay up late enough, you'll be able to see half the solar system at once. By looking towards the east, you'll be able to see Venus. You're standing on the Earth, and sort of pretty high up in the south will be Mars. And then sinking in the west is Jupiter, and a little bit east of Jupiter is Saturn. So you're seeing half the solar system all at once. And let's see. Scotty wanted to know if I had seen the comet yet. Well, I haven't. You know, comets are all the time with me. So I haven't bothered with this one. No, that's it. I went outside that morning and I had the binoculars and I went up. I looked at the star Capella and I just moved the binoculars down slowly. And then suddenly this came into the field. You can imagine how I felt to be able to see something, and it filled my mind with wonder. We are the progeny of comets. We're the progeny, not necessarily of this comet, but of comets that have come through our solar system over many billions of years. And one of those comets, at least, that collided with the Earth, brought the simple alphabet of life with it: carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. And that eventually sort of evolved into proteins, evolved further into amino acids, evolved further into RNA, and finally evolved further into DNA, and finally into you and me. this comet that we're looking at now, Comet Neowise, isn't the one that started life on Earth, but it's related to it. And it's really nice to be able to see this beautiful wonder in the darkness. Now we have another picture. Have another. Let's see where we are here. Oh, this is nice. Suddenly the computer decides it's not there. It goes, okay.
There we are.
Yeah, I have started I have a lot of telescopes out in the observatory, but this one right now is my favorite. This is called Eureka. All my telescopes have names, and I named this one Eureka for a very simple reason. In I think it was 1990, I was observing with the shoemakers at Palomar, and they weren't there that month. Instead, there was Henry Holt, and he and I discovered an asteroid that turned out to be orbiting in the L5 position, the Lagrangian 5 point in Mars's orbit. It was the first discovery of a Martian Trojan asteroid. And we decided to name it Eureka to celebrate Archimedes' famous expression of delight when he discovered his law of displacement while taking a bath. And the story is that he jumped out of his bathtub, ran out of the house yelling, Eureka, Eureka. There is nothing in the historical record that says anything about whether he bothered to dry himself off and get dressed before he did all that. But anyway, we named the asteroid Eureka, and this telescope, which is optically by far my best telescope, is named Eureka. And if you look closely, it's an Explore Scientific 12-inch telescope, and we've added a little bit to it. There is a encoder system on it right now, and
Yes.
Dean Koenig put that on, and so I'm having a lot of fun with this telescope. It really is nice, and being able to see the comet in the evening sky is even more special. The comet is starting to fade, but the moon is ending out of the way, so we should be able to get a nice few nights of looking at it while it's still reasonably bright. Also, this spring, I was able to get this picture of a meteor. The meteor shower right now that's coming up is the Perseid meteor shower, little specks of dust in the atmosphere that come from Comet Swift-Tuttle from 1862, and then back again in 1992. But we're not getting huge numbers. We won't be getting huge numbers of Perseids this year, but we should get a few. The last quarter moon will interfere a little bit, but not too much. This picture is a Lyrid meteor that I took at one of my observing sites last April. I went to the southern hemisphere, visited Brazil, and I had to get this picture from the hotel parking lot. You can see the lights down there. I just set the tripod up in the parking lot with the light and got this lovely image of the Southern Cross. Wanted to share that with you. Even though I rarely get to see it, it is still one of my favorite constellations just to look at. And here is a piece of Halley's Comet. No, this isn't Halley's Comet. No matter how hard you look, you won't find Halley's Comet in this picture. But if you look toward the left, you'll see a very bright Eta Aquarid meteor. And the Eta Aquarid meteors are specks of dust that come from Halley's Comet. And speaking of comets, I'm looking forward later on in the next few days to going out and looking at Comet Neowise again. But I've had a few personal experiences with comets, and none more important or exciting than a comet known as Shoemaker-Levy 9. It is a comet. It was a great comet not for what it was, but for what it did. It was the first known collision witnessed by humanity of a comet colliding with a planet. And this was really very exciting. And during the week of impacts, so much happened. It was so interesting to see all 21 fragments of that comet collide with Jupiter. It brought me back to when I first started. On September the 1st, 1960, I had a very small telescope, and I used it to look at the planet Jupiter, having absolutely no idea what what role the planet Jupiter would play in my life later on. And I remember my dad and my mom coming out, and I remember talking with Dad. Daddy, come look at the evening sky to the edge of tomorrow's dawn. And now, my father, may he rest in peace, is not here to enjoy SL9 or tonight, but I always like to think of him sitting there looking through the telescope at Jupiter and seeing the impact spots and seeing them as something personal, as I do.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to end with two things. This is a Meteor. This is a movie that you can see. Stanley Kubrick, Steve, please step aside. If you look carefully on the midway about near the middle, you see a bright star, and then just off to the right of that star, about halfway between that star and the right edge, you see a star that's getting brighter and then disappears and then gets brighter again. It is a movie of Tombaw's star, which is a cataclysmic exploding variable star. And I've happily caught it in outburst one night. And this is the movie of it that you are seeing right now.
Very nice. Wow.
The spectacular.
Fantastic.
It's really very difficult to get. Getting back to what I wanted to see, the idea of my father looking through a telescope. I'm going to play this for you. It's a song that was written by and performed by Ken Miedema in 1995. And with his permission, I'm now going to play it for you. Sailing through the vastness of space, finally coming home to Jupiter. And as I look up at the sky at night, I'm reminded of Ralph Hodgson, who wrote these words in 1913. I stood and stared. The sky was lit. The sky was stars all over it. I stood. I knew not why. Without a wish, without a will, I stood upon that silent hill and stared into the sky until my eyes were blind with stars, and still I stared into the sky. Thank you all very much and good observing.
Thank you very much, David. Thank you.
Love that
Wonderful.
presentation.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get with introducing our astronomers here. We are going to start with Richard Grace. Richard, you are, I'm going to put the spotlight on you. And Richard, why don't you give a little introduction to yourself and the setup, the gear that you have tonight for your astrophotography rig. Let's see, you are muted.
All right.
Okay, that's right. That's
I'm
good.
Richard Grace. Let's see here. Living in Annapolis, Maryland. We got some clouds and normally quite a bit of light pollution, but got into astrophotography last fall and started off with a cell phone camera and a small Newtonian and worked my way up to try and get some decent images. So quite a bit less than a year in, anniversary somewhere around October, actual real images probably more in November. And let's see here, we're working with a Skywatcher EQ6R Pro and the David Levy Comet Hunter.
Excellent.
Tonight we're running a Teleview 2X PowerMate and ASI 183 with a Star Zona filter drawer and an Optolong L-Enhance filter to cut out some light pollution. It's not doing a very good job cutting out the clouds right now, but we'll see what we can do.
Okay. All right. So now we'll move on to Jerry Hubbell. Jerry, I think you're muted there. And
Yep.
Yeah.
So, hey, everybody.
Let's get you on here. There you are.
A lot of you know me already, probably most everybody, because I work for Scott.
And you were on the air with me today, and
I was on the air earlier. That's right. Yeah, exactly. So the system that I'm have the privilege of using tonight is an observatory that we built about almost 5 years ago. It contains an Explorer Scientific 165 ED-APO FPL 53, our flagship telescope. It's got a an Explorer Scientific Losmandy G11 PMC8 mount system.
Mm-hmm.
I like to think that I'm the father of the PMC8, so that's my child there. So I take good care of it. And it's also got the Telescope Drive Master on the system, which is awesome. And we can talk. I'll show you some information about that a little later when we get into the observatory. So I'm actually in Virginia. I'm 5 miles from the observatory, so I'm going to be demonstrating how I operate it remotely using remote access software called Tight VNC.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. All right. Thanks, Jerry. Next up is going to be David Ng. David's in, I'm sorry. I've got Alberto Levy here. Hold on for a second. We'll do Alberto Levy next.
Really? No, after.
Alberto, okay, you can be David Ng this time.
Yeah, H before beauty. Come on.
That's right, Alberto Levy. This is David Levy's brother, and show us what you got set up for us tonight here.
Okay, because I was testing my my mount and my guiding camera yesterday. I have right now the Fluorite FSQ from 106 from Takahashi.
Yeah.
And a scope also from them. Actually, my history on telescope making goes back to when I was 10 years old, building a Galilean telescope and then grinding mirrors 8 inches and all but then you become lazy over the years, and you start buying equipment.
Yeah,
So
you bought a nice system there. That's all.
an
That's it.
iOptron mount,
Okay.
IEQ 45 Pro,
Mm-hmm.
and I have a camera. It's the ZWO 1600 monochrome,
Nice.
because for globular clusters, most of the stars are white, so a black and white does a good job, and it's quite sensitive. And I'll be using also Batinov. This is a really marvelous thing to use to focus. Basically, this is recent. I bought this. I would use all the straining of my eyes to focus and go crazy. But with this, it's a great invention. It's $10 to $15 to $20. This one is in metal. It was $19, and it's really very practical, and it helps a lot.
Oh yeah.
I just hope clouds are marine layers coming in, but less than 4 miles from the coastline. But hopefully, we'll get some images for you guys.
Awesome. All right, we're looking forward to it. Okay, and next up now is David Ng, and David is from Temecula, California, and he's a little. How far away are you from the coastline there? You're what, half an hour drive, something like that?
Half an hour, 45 minutes.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So
yep.
I'm Dave Ng. Live in Temecula. I've been here for about 2 years, and when I first got here, I went to my first star party. And it's the first time that I've ever looked through a telescope, just a couple years ago. And I was just blown away. And so I joined the club. Got to give a shout out to my club, Temecula Valley Astronomers. And and since then, I've just been very wrapped up in it. I started doing astro imaging. Excuse me, I don't know if you can hear me over the plane flying over my head.
It's fine.
I started doing astro imaging about 4 months ago, maybe 5 months ago. So I got myself an Explore Scientific ED102. It's sitting on a Celestron AVX mount.
Mm-hmm.
I'm using the ASI Air. That's a Raspberry Pi module. That's what I do all of my image capturing with. And for my camera, I have a Nikon DSLR. It's a D50-300. And then I also put in a, excuse me, an off-axis guider that has an ASI 290mm mini.
Awesome, awesome. So that's a great collection of.
I also use a Batinov mask.
Oh, smart man. Smart man. Okay. All right. So, this is our group tonight, and we are going to start off with some focusing demonstrations and some image acquisition demonstrations. We'll start off with Richard Grace, but before we do, Jerry, why don't you show what the weather looks like here in the United States?
Okay, let me share my screen. Let me get my, I'm gonna hide my observatory from you guys for right now. I'm gonna bring up the United States.
Yep. And while you're doing that, let's see. Oops. Looks absolutely clear. Oh yeah, it's clear where you are. We got a good night across the United States right now.
Well, let's go down. Let's go where we are first, and I'll zoom up, and
okay.
You'll see it's pretty clear. But there is some stuff right here in Southwest Virginia coming. I don't know which way it's coming. That may be. Hopefully, it won't be too bad.
Run the animation, and you can see the.
Yeah, and here's where Rich is at. You can see it's got a line of stuff there.
I see.
And then let's go out to California. And that looks good.
Okay, so east of Oceanside is Temecula.
Okay, right there.
Yeah, you can see Escondido. There's Vista, Escondido, and I think a little bit south of Escondido. out on the 15, a little bit further south, maybe.
No, actually a little bit.
Is it a little further north?
Yeah,
Palamesa,
a little
Fallbrook.
bit higher.
Oh, higher. That's right. It's been a while since I've been out there. Temecula, there
Temecula,
it is.
there it is. Okay.
Yeah, Temecula often has clear skies. You know, so it's a good place to be as an amateur astronomer. And then all the way down in San Diego is where Alberto Levy is. And as he said, he's only 4 miles away from the ocean. So that's going to be a little bit dicey. But sometimes that marine layer just hangs out there. So we'll see if we get lucky. We'll see if we get lucky. So
I'm kind of
all
surprised
right.
that these earlier there was nothing in Virginia. Now there's some stuff popping up, which is kind of interesting. But this
Right.
stuff will blow through pretty quick, I think.
I think so.
There's nothing up. There's nothing up where I'm at, but we'll see how it looks. And and hopefully this stuff is blowing away from where Rich is at. You're in Annapolis?
Yeah.
Yeah, so right there. Not looking
Does
too
it
good
look
right
out
this.
where you are, Rich? You got clear skies still?
It's probably muted. Maybe.
No, it's raining.
Say that once again, Rich. All right, your audio is kind of going in and out, Rich. Right now you're silent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that's the weather forecast.
That's the weather forecast. Yeah. Let's see if Rich can get his audio fixed here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why don't we start, while Rich is getting going here, Jerry, why don't we see get started with you, okay? And you're muted, Jerry. You're muted, Jerry.
Yeah, I know. I'll get there. I just I was switching through a bunch of windows trying to figure out where my Zoom was at. And
Yeah.
because I shared, it popped it up to the side, so I was looking
Right.
for it.
Okay. All right.
So now let me all right. So let me share my desktop. Now this will be the observatory desktop.
Okay. And maybe you can show the telescope.
Yep.
Which I know you've shown before. There it is.
Yep. Let me get this. I got this big window with everybody's face on it over there. So let me move that out of the way. Oh, it's down at the bottom now. What can I move it over? I'm going to move it over to the side here. I'm trying to figure out where to put it. All right, so let me adjust the
I think
exposure a little bit so you can see it.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see right now, see up through the slit?
Yeah.
Why did that go back to? That's 4 seconds. Okay. So, oh, I know what happened. I'm trying to adjust the gain is right. The gamma's good. Why did it go to the?
I see clouds.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. There's clouds right now, where earlier there weren't.
And I also see some stars, it looks like.
Well, those are hot pixels on the camera.
Hot pixels.
These are hot pixels.
All right.
Because we don't have stars inside the dome like you see there.
No, that's very true. That's very true.
The
planetarium.
So your telescope's all set up. You don't even really need to focus or anything, right?
Well, I do need to focus, and I'll demonstrate that. But I wanted to get into a little bit more detail. So, like I said, I've got the ES 165 FCD or FPL 53 scope with the Losmandy G11 PMC8 and telescope drive master. The camera I'm using is a QHY 163 color camera. and we've got a filter wheel on it with some filters on it that are science filters. And the way we do science with the color cameras, we bend two, and to combine the 4 color pixels into one big pixel, basically. And that provides good data for that we can filter with our filter wheel. That works fine. So I'm going to be using the camera bin 2 right now. So right now I'm parked, and I was gonna so how you want me to go ahead and move it into a target
Yeah,
and see if
let's
we
go
can get
ahead and
and
see
see
what
what
we
we
can
get.
do. Let's
All right.
see you go through the process and you can describe it.
Okay, so right now, if you look at the lower left-hand corner, you'll see my hand controller for the telescope control for the PMC-8. And and I've got it connected to my chart, which is cart to seal. Okay. And believe it or not, all this brown stuff that's our local tree line. We have quite a bit of trees where we're located at. And if you see this white circle, that's where the telescope's pointing right now. That's where the North Star is. So we can't align to the North Star. We have to do a thing we call declination drift alignment. But let me go ahead and I'm going to just pick a star out here, 72 Ophiuchus, and I'm going to center on it. And I've got to go to the telescope, and I'm using maxum DL to run the observatory. That's what you see here. So I've unparked the telescope so that I can slew it to the target.
Okay.
So if you look, I guess since I centered on it, I'm trying to see where I guess I can't really see the white circle, but I'm going to slew it now, and then you'll see the white circle come where the telescope's pointing. It'll move in, and then you'll also see the telescope moving on the image. It's kind of dark in there. I'm surprised I don't get better. Typically, I can see it better. It's really maybe because there's so much light coming in through the slit. I think if well, I'll just leave that. So let's go ahead and slew. And if you watch closely, you'll see that it's taking long exposures. It's a 4-second exposure.
Myron is saying the MSRO Skycam shows 50% cloudy, but moving through pretty fast.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So you can see the blurry image of the scope moving here.
Right.
And I believe I pointed it west of the meridian. So that's why the counterweight is towards the west. The way that's termed is the telescope is east pointed west. That's the way it gets arranged as a German equatorial mount. So right now I am pointed up near the zenith, and I'm gonna go ahead and you can see the image here where it shows the drawing of the scope pointing up, and then I'm gonna slave the dome. So the dome slews around to center the telescope pointed through the slit automatically when I turn that on. And you can see here when we get the picture back, you can see that the slit has moved a little bit blurry, and you can see that tree line through the slit.
Right. Tim Myers is asking a question. He says, I'd love to know how Jerry put his tree line into Carte du Ciel. He says he knew Stellarium allowed that, but he didn't know that you could do that in Carte du Ciel.
Yeah, so real quick, under setup, if you go to the observatory setup, there's a tab called Horizon. And you can see, and there's a file that we create, which is just basically a text file that has each of the coordinates and azimuth, and then the altitude. So it's an azimuth and an altitude, and that's the horizon line.
I see.
So that's what this file is right here. Display the local horizon line with this file.
I see. And you just did that like in a spreadsheet or a comma delimited?
Well, it's just a text file. It's just a notepad file.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a text file.
Okay.
So that's all there is to it.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm gonna
Let's
speed
see.
this up a little bit. I don't like this video being so slow. Well,
Lots of people on with us tonight. Mike Wiesner was on with us for a little while. Wade Purdy is with us.
so I'm gonna try to take a picture.
Mystic Neon. Hello, thanks for the invite from Astrobeard. Okay, that's awesome. Dusty Haskins says, ooh, I keep telling my wife she needs to get me the 16-inch Eureka. She wants a Eureka.
Yeah,
By
that's
subtly
cool.
changing her background on all of her electronics to a pic of it. Oh yeah,
Just
that always works,
a
Dusty.
gentle reminder. Oh, look, we got stars.
Yeah.
So it looks like the sky is clear enough to get a bunch of stars. That's a 10-second exposure.
There you go.
And look how many stars
Now,
there are.
how do you focus? You can't
I'm going to demonstrate that.
that enough mask up there.
No, I'm pretty spoiled here. I've got an automation to help me focus, and I'll demonstrate that now.
Okay.
So, and this is kind of a clue right here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to position the focus quite a bit off. I'm going to move it 500 steps off. All right. I'm going to move it out 500 steps and bring it out of focus. And I'm going to take another image so that you can see that this is out of focus image. And this star right here is the one that I slewed to. So it's pretty close to the center. It's not perfect, but
oh, I see.
So now you can see how blurry it is.
Stars, right?
So now I've got this nice little thing called autofocus. And what it does, it starts a program on maxum DL that acquires an image. It picks out a star, and then it starts running it in and out. It pulls it out to where it's defocused and says, okay, I'm going to start here. And I really pulled it way out of focus. It's 67. So the full width of half maximum is 67 pixels. Oh, now it's getting closer. You see how it adjusted itself in? Can you see that?
Yeah. Yes.
So now it's switching to fine focus mode. Okay.
Yeah.
Now it's picked the star out. See it up there in the corner? I'm going to zoom up on it so you can see it.
Okay.
So now it's sitting there running the focuser and taking an image. And it's figuring out where to start measuring. So now it's decided, okay, I want to start the measurement now. So now it's going to run it in. And
so Kent Martz wants to know, Kent's watching from home. He wants to know how much movement is one step in that focuser.
Yeah, this is a very fine, it's a moonlight focuser. It's a very precise focuser. It's 4 microns.
4 microns.
4 micron steps.
There you go.
So 1,000 steps is 4 millimeters.
Not much.
Not much. So you can see now. So what it did, it's running it in the focus. It's running it all the way in. And what it is, it comes into focus and then it goes back out of focus, right? So now it's going to be able to draw. It's going to do a linear fit for each of these 2 slopes, and find the intercept and say that's where the optimum focus position is.
Okay.
It says it found it. All right.
Awesome.
Now it looks like it's a bit of a blob though, so that doesn't look right to me. So it looks like what it did, I need to move it off. What it did is it found that big bright star and tried to focus on it. That star is way too bright. So I'm just going to move this.
You're going to go to a fainter star.
I'm going to just move it off, and then we'll run it again real quick. All right. So I'm going to take a quick image just to see that there's no bright stars. So that's the problem with going to a bright star.
Are you aimed at the inside of your dome?
I don't know. I don't know if the clouds came up all of a sudden. Let me look at the dome. Oh, it's still slave to it. It should be good. Let me take another image, see what it does here.
You're not focusing on one of those hot pixels, are you?
No, I don't think so.
Hmm.
It should take a full frame image and show it. There it goes. It looks like yeah, it looks like there's clouds in the way right now.
Myron just said it's mostly clear above the MSRO.
Well, I wonder why I just got an image of some stars.
You did.
Um,
Okay. I think we got the idea.
yeah.
We got Richard Grace back. I don't know if it rained where he was, but let's switch over to Richard and check in with him. Okay. So, yeah.
Mic on now?
Yeah. Let's
All right.
let's put some spotlight on you here.
Oh boy, it got a little wet out there.
Did it? Okay.
Kind of ruined some of the
All right.
plans there, but I pretty much had everything done outside anyway, so we are now.
And Jerry, you're going to have to unshare your screen.
I'm sorry.
There we go. Now I can move it.
I think you could have taken over. I think we can step on each other.
Could have. You're right. I could have.
All right, cool. When it's shared, you can't move it around. So.
Right.
All right. Drying out. Everything is good. Life is good.
Okay.
Probably going to be a little bit till the clouds clear out for a second, but scope didn't get too wet, and got the trash bags on some things, and I don't know what happened to the microphone, but at a certain point I was like, yeah, the laptop's coming inside one way or another. When the rain started coming down hard, I started losing the Wi-Fi connection. So.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, let's check in with the guys in California at this point. How about you, Dave? How's it going out there?
Pretty good. It's starting to get dark. Can't see any stars yet. Let me see if I can see. Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Maybe another 10, 15 minutes, I'll be able to see a couple of stars.
Hey, Scott, I just figured out what was wrong with mine.
Oh, yeah?
It had moved it way out of focus for some reason. So that's when it did that, it moved it right really bad. So now I've run it back into focus, and I think it'll take a picture if you want to go back real quick with me.
Okay. Yeah, let's go back.
All right, there's the share.
Oh, I see. Wow,
So now,
it ran way out of focus before.
Yeah, so I don't know why it was so bad, but let me.
These are the little surprises that can happen, huh?
Yeah. Actually, let me look at this real quick. I'm going to bring up a tool. Golly, that's big. I'm curious about this blob. Okay. So let me try let me do the autofocus again real quick. Do we get time?
So you were looking at
I moved it off.
Profile image of the star, like
right. So one of the things that that we're having problems with is the filter wheel. I wasn't planning on moving the filter, and I just wanted to make sure this looked like a good profile. It didn't move to the diffuser because earlier I tried to move it to the diffuser and it didn't move. So I just wanted to make sure it was still there where it's supposed to be. Now I'm gonna go ahead and hit start, and we'll see what it does here with the autofocus. Oh, there's the image. So you see it was pretty close to focus.
Oh, yeah.
So now it's going to run it out and figure out where to start. So it found the start position. It's going to run it back in and draw this V curve. And then it should do, because that big star threw it off, it couldn't measure the diameter accurately, and it just didn't know where to position it. So it's important when you're doing autofocus that you put it on a star field that doesn't have any bright stars in it.
You're right.
You can see it's coming down to around 4 to 5 pixels, half flux diameter. And then it's going to go back up and continue to measure. So it looks like the center's around 14,300 counts or so.
Right.
So that's what it came up with, 14,338. All right, so now
Focus position.
I'm going to take a 30-second image. And then what we'll do is we'll do a plate solve, and we'll do a measurement on the focus to see how small the stars are with this 30-second image.
Okay. This is typical of how you start out each night?
That's right. So you start out, I just flew to an object in the sky, take an image just to make sure, everything's working. And then before this, I had started the cameras up, turned them on, turned the coolers on. And right now, so
oh yeah, look at that.
There's a lot of stars there.
Look at all those hot pixels.
Yeah, no, you can tell they're not hot pixels because look.
Yeah, those are stars.
Yeah, they're nice and round, and they're not just one pixel basically.
Right. So this is through an Explore Scientific ED165
right,
with FPL 53 glass.
Right. So now I'm going to do a plate solve.
Okay.
And this uses a program called Pinpoint, which was
that's a Bob
created
Denny
by Robert
program,
Denny.
Right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, so there may be this may be another. Oh, there it goes. It's solved. All right. So it came up with this information after it's solved, and it's so what I do is I check the plate solve position. It says it's the RA and DEC values, and I'll go up here in the telescope and look at the RA and DEC, and these are J2000 values. So it says the position I think I'm at is 18 hours 27 minutes 58 seconds, and it actually calculated as 18 hours 27 minutes and 11 seconds. And the DEC is 6 degrees 3 seconds. I'm sorry, 6 degrees 3 minutes and 50 seconds. And then this is 6 degrees 11 minutes and 43 seconds. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a sync. So right now it thinks it's here at that star, but I moved it off.
And the red is where
it thinks it's where the and so I'm going to
so the red was what the
center of the chart, where the center of the chart
planetarium software thinks it's at.
Yeah, right. So I'm going to hit OK.
White was where it's really at.
Right. So now actually, if I'm going to go to track telescope. So now this is where it calculated the position, and this was the target position right here.
Okay.
Up here. So this is where it's at. I synchronized it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically go back to this star. I'm going to center on it. I'm going to do a slew. And then I'm going to do a quick image, and that star should be in the center of the field. And I think that star is actually right here.
Mm-hmm.
And just to give you an idea, after this comes up, of the magnitude of that star compared to all the other ones. Oh, there it is. See how it's right there?
It's pretty darn close. Yep.
I can't get, why won't it? This window's in the way.
Yeah, get that window out of the way. There we go.
So now let me show you, let me check real quick the star size, the full width at half maximum. I've got to do a, so I'm going to bring up the histogram. I mean the header, the FITS header. And there's a bunch of data about the image right here, but what I'm looking for is this value right here.
Okay.
That's the size of the star, the full width at half maximum for the average is 2.28 pixels.
Yeah.
That's critically sampled. Around 2 to 2.5 is a critically sampled image, which means you're not taking too much data. You're doing all that your sky can give you, basically.
Yeah.
Is what you're doing there, and that's what we want. So
right.
that's how we do the focusing.
Okay. So you're focused right now. Do you want to try to go ahead and acquire M13?
Yeah. So now let's go. Let's back the chart out. Okay, and I'm gonna type in M13 up here. Hit enter, and there it is. All right. So now I'm it's right above the tree line.
Perfect.
We'll have to see how close it is when I take an image. So I'm going to slew to, and you can see the white circle going to M13. All right.
All right.
So now we're right there. So now let's take an image and we'll see. I'm going to take a quick 10-second image.
All right.
And then we'll see if we're near the target or not.
Okay.
Or if we're in the trees. Oh, look at that.
That's pretty close.
That's how it works.
That's how it works. Okay, well, that's excellent. That's excellent. All right.
So let me stop sharing.
That's great. So let's...
Does anybody have any questions before I go away from this, I guess? Do you want to do that, or do you want to go to the next?
Yeah. Let me minimize the screen just a little bit here so I can get to the... Let's see look at our chats. So Myron says he's in the observatory if you need, which is cool. Focus is done, looks good.
He's in there, so he's in the webcam. So he's got the light on.
He turned on the light.
You can see him in there. See him?
Oh, I see. Right.
But you can see it doesn't matter because the moon's out anyway. And the light, we just took this picture and you can see, but for the best results, of course, you want it dark in the observatory.
Yeah.
So are there any questions?
Just comments right now. Astro Beard, Richard Gray said he's soaked. So sorry.
Oh no.
Everybody's hoping he's okay and his gear's okay. He says life's good. Dan Scoff. Dan Scoff is the meteorologist here in Northwest Arkansas for KNWA. And so he's watching right now, which is cool. My stick neon says, forget Richard Grace. Is his scope going to be okay? Myron says, Astro Beer, my parents live in Annapolis, whom I visit often. I used to stargaze from the AACC. My stick neon says Astro Beer is waterproof. Jeff Wise wants to ask you if you can explain critically focused one more time.
So critically sampled, I think, is what you're referring to.
Yeah. Yeah. Try to put it in simpler terms.
So in simple terms, and I can relate it to visual users. So when you use a high power eyepiece, like say you're looking at Jupiter or Mars or something like that, and you've got a good eyepiece, let's say it's a 15 millimeter, and you got a good crisp view of Mars.
Yeah.
Okay. You can see some features, you can see the ice cap, and then you decide, oh man, I want to see more detail. I'm going to put in a 4 millimeter eyepiece. So you put this 4 millimeter eyepiece in there, and then all it does is enlarge that, but you don't see anything more. You still see the ice cap, but it's more blobby now. Now it looks a little fuzzy. It looks a little blurred.
Yeah.
That's because it's being blurred by the sky. The air limits it's called seeing. It limits the resolution, the effective resolution that you can get when you image it, regardless of the resolution of the camera. So in the camera, it's just like if you were to oversample these stars, let's say, okay, for example, like this star right here, you see where I've got this group of that's a real dim star, okay. This is a critically sampled star, but if it was oversampled, you'd have a big blob of pixels for that star, okay. That's what you would have, and that's what oversampled means. That critically sampled means that you're sampling it at the rate which is due to this theorem. You want the pixel scale to be about 1/2 of what the sky will give you in terms of the full width in terms of seeing, and the full width at half maximum. And the seeing is measured in arc seconds, okay? And the full width at half maximum is measured in arc seconds. So if you've got a seeing of 2 to 3 arc seconds, you want your pixel scale to be half that, or around, or a little more. So if let's say you have a seeing level of 2.5 arc seconds, then you would want to sample at around one arc second, so that you have about 2.5 pixels of full width at half maximum. And that's what I was showing you here on the focus full width at half maximum. I guess I got to do another plate solve. Okay. So now, if I go here and look at the full width at half maximum, now there's a bunch of stuff in the middle that might throw it off. No, it's pretty good. So I've got a full width at half maximum of 2.29 pixels, which is excellent for critically sampled. When you're oversampled, what you'll see is the best focus you can get, you'll have 4 pixels or 5 pixels or something like that. That's what you'll have.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I can tell it's getting dark in California now.
Okay. So let me stop sharing.
Okay. So let's switch over to Alberto here. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was surrounded by clouds. I have a little opening. Oops, not that much.
Not that much.
Trying to. I'm going to share my screen.
Okay.
And I was able to get the Vega. Where's share screen? Okay. Okay, that's it.
Jeff Wise says hello to you, Alberto.
Who does?
Jeff Wise. He's a regular on our shows. He watches most of the shows.
So you probably see a blob right now in the middle of that black screen. That's the sensor. I left it out on purpose. So let me.
Oh, this looks like it's a fairly fast capture. It looks like video.
Yeah, it's video right now. Well, pretty much. It's like a few milliseconds. But you can see the clouds, the thin haze going in front of it. Like you think it's a planet turning around very fast now.
Right.
So I'll try to focus it. I mean, make it as small as possible. But then what we're going to use is the Batinov,
Okay.
mask, which will help us a lot. And this is a great design, a great invention. And what we're going to see with the Batinov, we're going to increase the size of this. We're going to zoom in into the star. Let's say 100%. And let's reduce the brightness. I'm going to reduce the brightness.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Okay.
And now you see those little spikes in there.
You see spikes.
Yes.
And the idea is that there's a central spike.
You can see the Batinov mass, the way it's rendered against the it's like it's illuminating the whole optic.
Oh, yeah.
Let me
and it makes like a thin line right through the middle.
Let me zoom a little more. Let me zoom a lot more.
A lot more. There we go.
200%. Okay. And as we go closer, there's a, wow, I never had this experience with the clouds. You see like a cross, I mean like an X, but then there's a middle one, the one in the center. That has to be really centered in between that large elongated X. And I'm doing it by hand, that's why it looks like kind of shaky.
Oh yeah, but you're doing a good job, Alberto.
Slightly more, maybe a little bit. I'm not that sophisticated as Jerry, but at least I'm getting something done here.
Right.
Right. No quarrel. So
yeah,
that was a lot faster than the autofocusing system.
Yeah, it was.
Right.
Yeah, it can be.
So,
sure.
Actually,
Myron always likes to manually focus. He doesn't like to use autofocus.
Yeah, but Alberto's cheating. He's right at the telescope. He's not 5 miles away like you are. So
that's another issue, of course. But again, usually under city lights, and I tried to, and for M13, I was planning on using an H alpha 7 nanometers, the Vail filter that would, block a lot of the light pollution, even though I would have to expose longer. But the way the clouds are, I hope I can still get some imaging through the clouds, maybe overexposing or whatever.
Yeah.
But again, so I can remove the Batinov now.
Okay.
So, of course, you can see it twinkling because of the bad atmosphere we have.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back and see the full screen. There it is. See that?
Oh yeah.
There we are.
Okay.
That's Vega.
That's Vega. Okay, so that's a pretty bright star. All right. So do you want to try to center up M13?
Just give me one.
Oh yeah. What do we have? Like a jet overhead?
Okay, I'm not far, about 2 miles from Miramar Air Base. Top Gun.
That's right. Yeah.
And,
so David Ng was saying, "Oh, Scott, there's so much road noise and stuff like that."
As a matter of fact, we had a very bad fighter jet accident 3 blocks away from here.
Oh.
In 2008.
Oh my
goodness. Fell over 3 homes, killed a family, etc. But
it's horrible.
That was a bad tragedy. But anyhow, we're well protected, and everything. In October we usually have the Blue Angels air show. It's a fantastic place to be. So the runway of the Miramar Air Base runs. If you go a straight line, comes over my head, over my house. So I'm safe. I feel I'm safe.
There's a question here, Alberto.
Any?
We have a question from one of our viewers here.
Sure.
He says, I'm a beginner. Does the star need to be in the center of the mask for focusing with the Batonov?
Definitely, yes, it helps because you don't know the slightly defects that spherical aberration or something that could be in any optical system, any, no matter which one you,
No matter what you have.
no
Yeah.
matter what you have. So the center should be the best. Uh, if you can move it as close as possible, that helps. And also it helps us, like I didn't have a chance to use this computerized mount to align with a couple of stars, so and have it have a better situation. It's only one star that I put in there.
Okay.
So in order to take it to M13, I probably would be star hopping, or I'll try it at a single shot and see if we're lucky enough to get there
Okay.
at M13.
How about we let you do that, try to get it centered up. We're going to jump to Dave Ing in Temecula next. And
it's going to be cloudy, and it's cloudy on that side.
Yeah, so you'll want to stop sharing your screen.
Okay, we'll do that. I'll
Okay.
disconnect that. Okay, let me stop share. Okay. Thank you.
There we go.
Okay. On my setup, I use a DSLR Nikon camera.
Yep.
So I don't have it connected to a laptop or PC. So what I'm going to do is turn on my camera. I'm going to use my my finder scope, find a bright star, and then see if I can center on that star, and then get the image in the back of my camera. So I'll see if I can show that as I'm doing it.
Okay. And this is with an Explore Scientific ED80 or ED102.
102.
Yep, got it.
So I'm going to swoop over to a star that I can see.
I'm back.
Mm-hmm.
So it's in the finder, but I gotta see if I can center it in my my camera.
Okay.
I'm just gonna adjust the scope a little bit. Okay, so you can probably see the live view of the camera over here.
Oh, yeah, right.
I have it in the center there, so I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And then I can adjust the focus. Kind of get it where I think it's pretty close. That looks pretty good. And then I'll throw the Batonov mask on there. I'm going to zoom in a little bit on the camera.
Okay.
So I took a picture of it so I could show you. Let's see if I can.
Okay.
I'm going to bring the
Kip
webcam
is
over a little bit.
asking which Nikon are you using, Richard?
A D5300.
And is this
So there's a live view, and that's a little out of focus with the webcam, but
oh yeah, but you can see the Batnoff mask spikes there.
yeah. So that actually looks pretty good, pretty centered. So take off the mask.
Okay.
And I'll tighten up the focus again here. So it doesn't go out of whack. And then I'm going to go to my home position.
Yep.
Actually, before I do that, I'm going to do a polar align.
Okay.
You done that yet?
Now, what method do you use for polar alignment?
Celestron's all-star polar alignment.
Okay.
I can see Polaris, but I can't really do an alignment on it. I have the street light right there.
Yes, you do.
So I can't really see behind it too much.
Right.
So it's slewed away from Altair.
Yeah.
Coming back to it.
Ron Delvaux says, forgetting to take off the mask is important.
Yeah. Okay. Center it in the finder.
I just started a sequence of images, Scott, on M13.
Okay. Excellent.
I'm doing 60 30-second images.
Yeah. And Richard, so you were pretty rained out there. I don't know if you're going to get any clear skies. Probably not much of a chance to. I don't know if you can get set back up. You know, that's.
It's still set up.
Oh, it's still. So you just like tarped it? Is that what you did?
Contractor bags.
Oh, smart
Yeah,
man.
Well, that's what I had.
You know, that kind of thing happens to us often when we go to the winter star party. Florida Keys, you can have the squall come in, you know, and everybody just bags up and waits it out, you know. So we even had a little tornado come to the Florida Keys one time during the star party and knock over a telescope and throw a bunch of stuff in the air. So.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, most of the set's taken down out back, but like I said, I was pretty much ready to be inside for the most part anyway. So
sure. Okay.
The forecast has changed.
Yeah. Right.
We had a microburst come through. I was at the almost heaven star party at Spruce Knob, West Virginia, about 3 years ago, and we were set up a tent during the day. And this microburst came through where it was 60 miles an hour and just blew my tent away. I had a table set up I was there for Explore Scientific to show our stuff, and I had most everything boxed up because we knew the storm was coming. But I had telescope set up. The 102 that we have was on the Exos 2 mount, and it got blown over, and the tent got blown away. So this squalls, it's that stuff can show up in no time.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Okay, so I'm polar aligned now.
That was quick.
I'm going to go back to home position. I'm going to start the ASI Air app, and I'll show you that on my tablet unit.
Okay. And Alberto, how's your sky turning out?
I feel like General Custer surrounded, but by clouds. But I'll tell you something. Precisely a week ago, I imaged M13 with Explore Scientific AR-127, and because I was trying to use this H alpha filter on nebula. That's why I used this. I moved the telescope. I removed that telescope and I used the FSQ Takahashi for larger field of view, etc. But I can show you what 11 seconds looked like, and then I'm going to show you. Okay, this was. I need to share the screen. Need to share the screen. Screen share. Okay, and it's this here. Okay. So this was a single shot, 11 seconds, with Explore Scientific AR-127.
Okay.
Excellent carbon fiber too. Beautiful instrument, and you can see very sharp. And this is under city lights, and I had the moon pretty much on top of me. But then I added 11 shots, 11 exposure of 11 seconds. And
wow,
this is what I got.
Beautiful.
I use an H alpha filter, like I said, also to subdue the light, the city lights a lot. And this is the final result with this.
And this is shot from your backyard in San Diego.
Backyard, yeah. I'm not far. I'm probably 6-7 miles from downtown San Diego.
Yeah.
So it's
excellent.
So this is my result in
excellent.
Just a few shots, and the process I used is okay. The hardware, the software for capturing is SharpCap. That's SharpCap, and it recognizes the camera, ZWO 1600 mono, and then to process the all the photos, I use Deep Sky Stacker, which is fantastic. It's a freeware. You load up your files, your darks, and you let it run, and a minute or a minute and a half later, it shows you and maybe in Photoshop you enhance a little, you pull and contrast, whatever, but it's really a marvelous software, Deep Sky Stacker.
Excellent.
I used to use Images Plus, but this has become very practical. You don't have to, locate, put two stars and square them and align them and let it run. This does the whole thing. So it's recommended very strongly.
Excellent.
So
all right,
where did I leave my? I have to. Oh wait, I have to stop the share. So
no, okay. I think I've got it set up where everybody can share simultaneously.
Oh wow!
But I'm going to spotlight on. Well, I guess you do need to stop sharing.
Yeah, and probably I was kind of tired because I wrote down
Alafa, because you laugh a lot.
Or maybe alfalfa. I don't know what.
You do laugh a lot. At least you make me laugh.
or alfalfa. So, okay, that's part of the jokes here.
Yes.
Okay, stop sharing.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. So here we are. We're back with Dave.
Okay. I have the Asi Air app on my tablet.
Okay.
So I've got actually, why isn't the camera on? Main camera on. Okay. Okay, so I'm in preview mode. So it allows me to select a go-to object. So from here, I can type in whatever my target is. In this case, it's going to be M13. And it gives me a little information about it.
Got it.
Oops.
Which program is this again?
It's the ASI Air app. It's to run the ASI Air device, the Raspberry Pi device.
Got it.
So now it's up here. I can just say, click on go to, and I'm going to keep an eye on my telescope because I know it's at the zenith and I want to make sure it doesn't hit the camera.
Sure.
But here we go.
We can hear it slowing.
Oh, the camera's like 2 inches from the tripod rail.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, because it's pointing very high in the sky right now for us.
So it's taking a picture, and I think it's going to plate solve automatically.
Okay.
And it's usually faster than this, so I'm suspecting that maybe it's going to fail.
No, try again. It's okay. We all run into that. We all run into that. You know, what's amazing is that we're running this star party on 2 different coasts. We've got 4 astronomers all tied in together. We're broadcasting. We're having what I call one of those internet moments, you know, so.
And different conditions for everyone.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, I wanted to mention, did you all watch the Starship Hopper today? It hopped today.
The Starship Hopper?
Yeah, the Starship.
Yeah, the Starship did its 150-meter
hop. That was awesome. That was awesome.
Yeah, man.
Oh, no. I have to find out about that.
No, it's not.
That's all right, Dave. Scott had me troubleshoot a problem live on the fly yesterday with a customer.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I had faith that we would figure it out, but that's just one of them things, you know.
Yeah, that's where you
work through it
a little bit. Okay. Well, how about let's jump back to Jerry while Dave is working through this. And you're gathering images at this point. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay. All right. So
you see my screen now?
Yep.
All right. So I've got there's a thing in Maxim DL. It's called autosave. You can set up a sequence. It's kind of like Sequence Generator Pro, where you can set up your imaging session to take a series of images. And I set the exposure to 30 seconds because I don't want to blow out. Right now it looks kind of blow out because I got the histogram set wrong. But when I stack these, I don't want to blow out the stars too much. So I'm doing 60 30-second images, which is 30 minutes of imaging basically. And it's also doing an auto plate solve every time it takes an image. And it's also repositioning back to the original target coordinates. So if you watch this over time, you know, really zoomed up, you'll see that these stars basically it just stays right where it's at. It doesn't move. It's near perfect tracking.
Oh yeah.
Now what I'm using is the telescope drive master. I'm not auto guiding at all. So look, you'll watch when it brings this next picture in here. It moves just a tiny bit now. So what it'll do is it'll reposition it back. So it moved, this star right here moved from right here to right there.
That's not much.
All right, that's about 2 arc seconds.
Yeah.
2 or 3 arc seconds. All right, so let me
Very
show you
tiny
what
amount.
the auto guiding or what the I'm not auto guiding. I'm using the telescope drive master. What the alternative is to that. I'm gonna show you what the tracking error is on the system. This is a program I wrote about 10 years ago when I first was a customer with Scott, when I bought the telescope drive master. And what this will show you, this is similar to a PhD auto guiding graph, except it's plotting the real-time encoder corrections. All right. And
Okay.
what this is about the RMS value for this auto guiding, or for, I keep saying auto guiding. It's not auto guiding. It's the telescope drive master is about 0.3 to 0.4 arc seconds RMS auto guiding. Damn it. Not auto guiding.
He's not auto guiding, folks.
It's a spike.
He's got a telescope drive master, darn it.
I got a telescope drive master.
Auto tracking.
It's tracking error. I need to say tracking. It's a TDM tracking error. You see that spike?
Yeah.
I don't know what caused that. I'm curious to see if it shows up in our image.
Earthquake.
Maybe you sneezed.
Maybe you did.
Maybe, and it felt it 5 miles away.
The guy who's in your observatory bumped it.
Could have been.
He's out of there now.
Yeah, tell that guy.
Let's see if it moves this image. It didn't look like it. Didn't look like it impacted it. Yeah, I don't know what that spike was. All right, let me see if I get back to it.
Michael Whitaker says, what I like about this is just knowing it's not just me that gets frustrated when things don't go right.
Oh, no.
Great to see other people's real setups here.
I got an image now.
Oh, cool.
So you all set up there, Dave?
I have a comment. As a matter of fact, when I used to shoot film, my definition of a good astrophoto was take 100 and throw out 99. Away.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
So do you want me to stop my share?
No, I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, that's fine. I'm up to image 26 of 60 right now. Taking these images. So no, go ahead. I'm gonna stop. Go ahead.
All right.
So I tried dimming this a little
right
bit to see
now.
if you can see it, but it's not a very good picture, I guess. But I'm going to hide this little window. And I can see M13 right here.
Okay.
So I took a 10-second exposure. Looks kind of green. But what the ASI Air app does is it has an auto stretch feature. So for dim objects, it automatically brightens it up a little bit. I think you can see a little bit of the blob right there. This is a new feature they added in the recent update, but you're supposed to be able to hold on to that, and then it turns green. I don't know if you can see that green circle.
Yeah, we did.
And then you're supposed to be able to just tap it, and it's supposed to auto center to that location.
Oh boy, nice.
A nice feature.
This is the second time I tried it, and the first time I tried it, it didn't work.
Okay.
Hopefully.
We'll see if it works this time.
Yeah.
We have some other comments here. Tim Myers wants to ask, does Maxim DL automatically stretch your image to make it easier to see?
There's a histogram window down the lower right-hand corner I've been using to set the stretch. It will, you can select low, medium, or high, or select it for planetary or the moon. So it'll set or you can manually set the histogram values that you want to show. And I can demonstrate that when we go back in a few minutes.
Can you guys hear me? Am I back?
Yes,
Yeah, I
you're
hear you.
Okay. So I'm taking another 10-second shot, and we'll see what that looks like.
We'll see if it's centered up.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to do a plate solve. Okay, that took 0.6 seconds. There's a button here. Well, it's not really a button. It's a link, sync and go to M13. So it's going to sync with the mount, and it's supposed to center it a little bit. And I heard slewing a little bit. So.
Okay.
That's similar to what I was doing with maxum DL. It would plate solve it, and then it would recenter the object.
The thing is, I have to do another preview shot to see where it ended up. So these are 10-second shots at ISO 200. I'm sorry, this says ISO 1000. I lied. ISO 200 is normally what I shoot at.
Okay.
I heard that ISO 200 is a sweet spot for this particular camera.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's true or not, but it seems to have been working for me okay. The auto stretch made this really bright. Let me see if I can reset that.
Wade Prunty wants to know if Jerry can do 10 to 30-minute exposures without auto guiding.
Yeah, I could go as long as I've gone 10 minutes before, and as long as you have a very accurate polar alignment, yeah, it'll work fine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You have to really tweak your polar alignment in to get 10 minutes. That typically the most we go is 5 minutes. But the problem we have here in Virginia is our skies are just too bright. Even with no moon, we've got, we're in an urban area, but there's light domes in Fredericksburg to the east of me, and we got Washington D.C. that's to the north, about 50 miles north of me, and
Okay.
so the sky's not. I can see the Milky Way from my house when it's really a moonless night, but it's not. I mean, I can see it, but it's not like being out west by any means. I think our skies, we can get 5.5 to 6 magnitude skies, maybe average. That's a backyard suburban or a suburban sky, or rural to suburban is where I'm at basically.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can go 10 minutes, but then after that, sky brightness really overwhelms the image, so it's not really worth it to get. But yeah, the telescope drive master doesn't care what the it's not guiding, so you can take, as long as you got a good polar alignment, you can take as long as you want.
Oh, I did miss a question here. Jenny Bedell Shelley says, not sure if you saw my question for Jerry from earlier. I wanted to know if Jerry is using half steps for his autofocus routine.
Yeah, so I've got that. The focuser I've got in here does have that that driver to do half steps, but I haven't found that I need to, because the refractor, the range of focus is around 20 to 30 counts in I guess you could call it like depth of field for the focus.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to be around 20 counts. So having half steps basically doubles the number of counts that you're allowed. So you can basically position it to 2 microns precision instead of 4 microns.
Yeah.
And I don't see a need for that. Now, if you were doing a very fast, you had that focuser on a very fast system like a Hyperstar, where the focusing position is very, very finicky, that's where you would need it probably. But with this system, I don't find that I need to use that.
Oh, Jenny says she asks because she can't get half steps to work for her moonlight focuser.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'll have to give it a try. I've never really tried it. Because again, I never needed it. So I'd have to give that a try and see if I could get that to work, and maybe help you out with that, Jenny.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you can see it, but I got it centered now.
Oh,
Great.
yeah.
Oh, okay. We can see it now. So that's great. Awesome. So that's a nice feature for the ASI Air.
So that's the same light coming to you that I got coming to me, basically, at the same time with my last image.
Across the United States. So there we go.
Yep. Yep.
Go.
So now I can start imaging. There's an auto run button here.
Okay.
I can tell it how many shots I want my lights, how long I want them. And you know, if I want to do any delays between the first one or an interval in between them, and then I can just start capturing.
And how many images do you plan on capturing for this run?
Let's see, what time is it? It's 9 o'clock here. I got a couple hours. I don't know, maybe 60 1-minute shots. I'm not real confident because it's kind of pointing straight up.
Yeah.
I'm going to be able to guide very well. So I'm going to do shorter exposures. And also I'm probably going to have to flip pretty soon because I'm almost right at the top.
Right.
So I'm kind of doing about 60 or so at 60 seconds. It seems like it's a pretty decent object, a pretty bright object. I don't really need a lot of long exposures on it.
Okay.
And then after that, I'm gonna do my darks. And if it's not too late, I'll do flats tonight, or I might just do them in the morning. The flats, as long as I don't change the imaging train or the focus or anything. And since I'm using one-shot color, I don't really have to do a lot of different ones for each filter.
Right.
And then the biases, because I always shoot at ISO 200, I already have a master bias at ISO 200, so I can reuse that.
Okay. We have some questions here for you, Dave. Jenny wants to know, is the ASI Air wireless?
Yes. Yes and no. The ASI Air has Wi-Fi in there. The version 1 was in a plastic case, and it wasn't too bad. The newer version, the Pro, is in an aluminum case.
Yeah.
It has no antenna, so it gets really bad Wi-Fi connection. So what I've done is, it also has an Ethernet port. I've connected a small TP-Link router to the Ethernet port on the ASI Air, and that guy is what I connect to. So
yeah, that sounds good.
So it's pretty much a standalone system. I have a battery pack. Let me see if I can move this over.
Okay.
See the battery pack in there?
There's your power supply. Okay.
There. And that just connects to everything else. And it's just one, self-contained thing. I don't need any power, any external power to run it.
Right. Yeah. So look at this setup. Dave's got perimeter lights on so we can see what he's doing, which is good. He would probably, I would guess you would normally turn those off.
Yeah,
there is a lot of moon tonight. But you're still getting M13 from your backyard, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's actually kind of dark out here.
What's that?
My house is probably blocking most of the moonlight.
That's good. That's good. Excellent. Okay.
Yeah, my backyard faces north, and I can't really see my southern skies very well. I'd have to take up my rig out to the front if I wanted to do that. But I'm going to go ahead and set this up and start imaging.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so let's check in on Richard Grace.
All right.
There we are. So how's your weather doing out there at this point?
Still raining.
Still raining. Okay.
Yeah, it's coming down a lot slower. It looks like somebody just west of Fredericksburg's like cloud seeding.
Okay.
It's just
Yeah.
it's flowing right up through there. But
right.
Yeah.
I think it's going to clear out in a minute. But it just I can't explain it. Neither can the weatherman. So.
Well, we'll have to have you. We're going to do this again on next Tuesday. So we'll have you just, if you're so inclined to join us again next Tuesday, we'll have you in that lineup of astronomers.
Hopefully we have better weather.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's great. And let's check back in on Alberto and see what's
Yes,
happening out there.
yes. Well, so far this session has been 500 percentage in batting. I mean, two of our fellow astronomers got imaging, and two are clouded.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's looking up there.
One
I'm
on each
still
coast.
waiting for any opening, but I doubt it. Even the moon is. You can see maybe some light back there.
Right.
But yes, of course, we would love to do this again, and
Okay, we'll come
many,
back.
many other targets, of course.
Sure. So, well, that's wonderful. We have had an interesting night tonight. Looks like Richard got up to get a reality check on what it's like outside. We've had some great comments tonight. It was great to have David Levy on with us tonight as well.
Nice presentation.
And yeah, Jenny comments. She says, "Alberto, it happens to the best of us." Chuck Lewis is asking, has this kind of collaborative astronomy been done before, Scott? If not, then tonight is really special. As far as I know, Chuck, I don't think so. Okay. Now, has other amateur astronomy clubs done this? Or I have no idea, but I don't think they broadcast it like this. Okay. So I think that this makes this a little bit unique. Probably some other amateur astronomers have gotten together on Zoom and compared notes and that kind of thing. I believe that must have happened already. But we will see about having, we've got Wolfgang in Germany that wants to join us for the next one. So I got to figure out what the time differences are going to be like for that. But gosh, it was a lot of fun having you guys on.
If he shoots the night sky, we could do the solar promenade.
Yeah, maybe. That's right. We have that would be very interesting to do solar and stars. So,
yeah,
and maybe if we have like a European, group, we can have two sessions. We can have a midday session here where we see stars over there, and then we do a night session here and we see the sun over there. So, but the sun has been really, really quiet, so Gary Palmer in the UK tends to get lucky. He showed an incredibly beautiful and large flare on the sun. Ron Delvo says there's a sunspot right now. That's great. So hopefully we could get that.
And Eric Royal in Mexico, he's shooting the sun from his home. Because of COVID, he's staying there.
Eric
has all the patience and beautiful shots.
Oh yeah, Eric. I've known Eric for a while. I didn't know, so I've been good friends with Eric for a while. He's got a telescope drive master on his systems. He's got two of them.
Yes. So he's great.
Well, that's awesome.
Your idea, your promotion about doing this is commendable. I mean, I really congratulate you about putting us together, getting to know
you guys are doing
other fellow astrophotographers.
I'm just sitting here pressing the keys on the computer.
That's great, but you pulled all the strings to get us all together.
Oh, I did. That's true. That's true.
And that's very nice of you.
And that check for $1,000, $20, $10 is coming to
you. Okay. I hope it's not Bitcoins.
Yeah, right.
Bitcoin is coming to you. Yes, that's right. Yeah, but it was fun, guys. Thank you so much. I don't know if we have any more comments or questions here. Let me just do another check. I think we answered most of it here.
I can, there's that question about the histogram. I can show that real quick.
Yeah, why don't you?
It won't take a second. You see me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so down here, on the lower right is the screen stretch window. And right now I've got it set to low. So you got a bunch of different selections here that you can do for automatic, or you can do the stretching with these little triangles. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a green one. You can see I'm moving it back and forth, and you can see the stars. When you show the whole thing, you can see the brightest stars in the cluster. And typically you want to look at that and not overexpose them if you can get away with it, although you're gonna, you're not going to be able to get perfect. So that's why I'm doing a 30-second image instead of a 1 minute.
Yes.
Because of the sensitivity of the camera and how much light the telescope's coming. But you can select.
Am I starting to see the propeller shape in there?
I don't know.
Yes, yes, there you go.
Looks like it.
Yeah.
Looks like it.
Where's it at?
Yeah, it's in there. Yeah.
Let me see. Yeah, the propeller is pretty noticeable once you get a good exposure. Get the next image here. You can see you can blow it out, of course. You see the propeller in there?
Yes, a little bit. Mm-hmm.
So that's the histogram.
Awesome. Okay. Well, it's been great. It's been great having all you guys here, and I look forward to having the virtual star party 2 that will be coming up here next Tuesday, and with a backup night of Thursday. And like I said, we plan to do this every week, through the rest of this year. So thanks very much, guys, and keep looking up. And we will see you tomorrow afternoon at our 4:00 Central show for the Open Go-To Community Live program. And hope to see you there. Take care.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
All of you guys.
Cheers, guys.
Pleased to meet you.